When you find yourself in a season of transition, it's a sign that God is moving in your life. Elevation often begins in the invisible, long before you see its manifestation. You may feel uncomfortable, unsettled, or even isolated, but this is not a sign of failure. It is evidence of God's hand at work. Elevation requires separation. God often moves us away from familiar surroundings, from people and situations that no longer align with where He is taking us. This process may feel painful, but it is purposeful. He is pruning you, refining you, and preparing you for the next level. You'll notice that your perspective begins to change. What once satisfied you no longer holds the same appeal. Your spirit begins to hunger for more, for purpose, for vision, for the fulfillment of the destiny God has placed inside you. This hunger is divine. It is God awakening you to new possibilities, stirring up the gifts and potential within you. He is enlarging your capacity, giving you a glimpse of what's to come, and calling you to step into alignment with His plan. As God elevates you, challenges will come, but these challenges are not meant to break you. They are meant to shape you. Opposition often intensifies when elevation is near. You may face criticism, misunderstandings, or unexpected resistance. But remember, resistance is proof of progress. God is strengthening your character, teaching you resilience, and ensuring that when you reach the next level, you have the maturity to sustain it. Elevation requires not just a new level of faith, but a new level of responsibility. God is entrusting you with greater influence, and with that comes the need for greater wisdom, humility, and obedience. Another sign that God has elevated you is the clarity of vision. He begins to reveal things that were previously hidden. Doors that were closed begin to open, and pathways that seemed impossible suddenly become accessible. This is not coincidence, it is divine orchestration. God is aligning the resources, people, and opportunities necessary for you to walk into your purpose. But with this clarity comes the requirement to act. God will not do for you what He has empowered you to do for yourself. Step forward in faith, knowing that He has already gone before you to prepare the way. You may also find yourself with a new level of influence, but this is not for your glory, it is for His. God elevates us not to make us comfortable, but to make us impactful. Your promotion is tied to your purpose, and your purpose is always connected to serving others. As God elevates you, stay rooted in humility, recognizing that it is His power and favor that have brought you this far. God's elevation is a call to stewardship. It's an invitation to partner with Him in fulfilling His kingdom agenda. So embrace the discomfort, endure the process, and trust that He is taking you to a place greater than you can imagine. When you find yourself in a place of discomfort or transition, it's often a sign that God is at work in your life. This feeling of being unsettled is not random, it is intentional. God uses discomfort to signal growth, to move you from where you are to where He needs you to be. It may feel as though you're losing control, but in reality, He is orchestrating a divine shift. The familiar routines that once gave you peace may no longer satisfy. The places and people you relied on may no longer feel the same. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. God is uprooting you from comfort zones because those places can no longer sustain the vision He has for you. Embrace the unease, for it is evidence that He is preparing you for something greater. This discomfort is not a punishment, it's a sign of His trust in you, His way of making room for the new level He is calling you to. When you find yourself in a place of discomfort or transition, it's often a sign that God is working to elevate you to the next level. This discomfort is not something to fear or avoid. It is a signal of growth and transformation. God never moves you forward without first preparing you, and that preparation often begins with shaking you out of the familiar and comfortable. The unsettling feelings you experience are not random. They are divine indicators that you are being repositioned for something greater. Life's comfort zones, while seemingly safe and predictable, can sometimes become barriers to progress. You may find yourself clinging to routines, relationships, or environments that once provided peace and security. However, when God begins to shift you, those once comforting spaces no longer bring the same satisfaction. This isn't a punishment, it's a necessary step in the process of elevation. God knows that in order to take you higher, He must first move you out of the places that have limited your growth. What feels like instability is often His way of pushing you toward new opportunities and blessings. As you experience this discomfort, you may feel a sense of loss or even confusion. You might wonder why the things that used to work no longer seem effective, or why the relationships you valued seem to be changing. But this is God's way of making space for the new. He knows that you can't carry the weight of the next level while holding on to everything from the last one. The discomfort you feel is a sign that God is pruning your life, removing the excess that could hinder your ability to step into the future He has prepared for you. In these moments, it's important to remember that God is a master planner. He sees the bigger picture and knows exactly what you need to grow into your full potential. The unease you feel is not an accident, it's His intentional process of refinement. Just as gold is purified through fire, you are being refined through the discomfort of transition. Each challenge, each moment of uncertainty is shaping you into someone who can handle the responsibilities and blessings of the next level. Often, God will allow situations to arise that reveal areas where you need to grow. These moments may feel like tests, but they are actually opportunities for transformation. Discomfort forces you to rely on Him in ways you never have before. It pushes you to develop new skills, strengthen your faith, and trust in His timing. Through this process, you'll find that what once felt overwhelming begins to build resilience within you. You'll discover strength you didn't know you had, and this strength will become the foundation for what's to come. The discomfort of transition is also a sign of God's trust in you. He doesn't elevate people randomly or without purpose. If you're feeling the weight of change, it's because He sees your potential and is preparing you for greater influence and responsibility. God's elevation is always intentional. He knows the plans He has for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. The unease you're experiencing is proof that He is aligning your life with His divine purpose. It's easy to resist discomfort, to want to stay in familiar places where things are predictable and safe. But growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Growth requires stretching, and stretching can feel uncomfortable. Think of a seed that must break through the soil to grow. The process of breaking through is not easy, but it's necessary for the seed to reach the light. In the same way, God is breaking you out of the soil of your current situation so you can grow into the person He created you to be. As you navigate this season of discomfort, remember that God's plans for you are always good. He is not trying to harm you or make your life harder. He is positioning you for greatness. Trust the process, even when it doesn't make sense. Lean into His presence and allow Him to guide you through the uncertainties. Elevation comes with challenges, but it also comes with the promise of new beginnings, new opportunities, and a deeper sense of purpose. The discomfort you feel now is temporary, but the growth it produces is eternal. God is preparing you for a level of influence, impact, and blessing that you cannot yet fully see. Embrace the process with faith, knowing that He is working all things together for your good. What feels like a disruption is actually a divine setup for the next chapter of your life. You are being elevated, not just for your own benefit, but to fulfill the greater purpose that God has placed on your life. Trust Him, endure the discomfort, and watch as He takes you to heights you never imagined. Separation is one of the clearest signs that God is preparing to elevate you to the next level. It is not always an easy process, but it is a necessary one. When God is moving you forward, He often begins by removing certain things, people, or situations from your life that no longer serve the purpose He has for you. This separation can feel like a loss, but it is not rejection, it is redirection. God is shifting you away from what has been to prepare you for what is to come. It is an act of love, a way of ensuring that you are in the right environment to grow, flourish, and step fully into the next chapter of your journey. There are times when the relationships, habits, or environments that were beneficial in one season of your life become a hindrance in the next. This doesn't mean those things were bad or wrong. It simply means that their purpose in your life has been fulfilled. God sees the end from the beginning, and He knows that certain connections can no longer go with you to the next level. He knows the weight of where you are going, and He understands that not everything or everyone is equipped to handle that weight. This is why He lovingly removes what could hold you back. It's not about punishment, it's about preparation. The process of separation can often feel isolating. You may find that people who were once close to you start to drift away, or that certain relationships begin to feel strained. This is not a coincidence, it is divine orchestration. God is creating space in your life, and while it may feel painful, it is for your good. Sometimes the very people who were a source of comfort or support in the past are no longer aligned with where God is taking you. This doesn't mean you should harbor resentment or bitterness. Instead, it's an opportunity to trust God's plan and release those relationships with grace. Separation is often a sign that God is clearing the path for new connections, ones that will align with your purpose and propel you toward your destiny. Beyond relationships, separation can also involve a shift in habits, mindsets, or environments. God may begin to stir your heart to let go of old routines or ways of thinking that are no longer serving you. What once felt natural may start to feel burdensome. This is His way of encouraging you to break free from limitations and step into the new. You might find that places or situations where you once felt comfortable now feel foreign or unwelcoming. This is not something to fear. It's a signal that God is calling you higher. He is redirecting your focus, helping you shed the old so you can embrace the new. The process of separation can also expose hidden dependencies. Sometimes we rely too heavily on people or things to give us a sense of identity, security, or purpose. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows that these dependencies can become distractions from Him and His plan for our lives. In separating you, He is teaching you to rely fully on Him. He is reminding you that He is your source, your foundation, and your strength. This is a critical lesson because where God is taking you, your reliance on Him must be stronger than ever. The next level requires a deeper relationship with Him, one that is built on trust, faith, and obedience. It's also important to recognize that separation is not rejection. It may feel like you are being left behind or cast aside, but that is far from the truth. God is not punishing you, He is pruning you. Just as a gardener prunes a tree to remove dead or unproductive branches, God is pruning your life to make room for greater growth. He is preparing you for a harvest that is beyond what you can imagine. The separation you are experiencing is evidence of His care and His desire to see you thrive. As you go through this process, it's natural to feel a sense of grief or loss. It's okay to acknowledge those feelings, but don't allow them to consume you. Instead, focus on what God is doing. Trust that He is orchestrating every detail, even when it doesn't make sense. Remember that separation is a sign of His favor. He is setting you apart, refining you, and aligning you with His perfect plan. The people and things He is removing are not meant to harm you. They are making room for the blessings and opportunities that are ahead. This is a time to embrace faith over fear. Let go of what no longer serves you, even if it's uncomfortable. Trust that God's plan is always good and that His ways are higher than yours. Know that the separation is part of the process of elevation, a necessary step in becoming who He has called you to be. What you lose in this season is nothing compared to what you will gain in the next. God's plan for your life is far greater than anything you could imagine, and this season of separation is preparing you to walk into it with strength, clarity, and purpose. When God is preparing to elevate you, one of the clearest signs is the sudden appearance of new opportunities that align with your purpose. These opportunities are not random. They are strategically placed by God to move you forward. What once seemed out of reach or impossible suddenly begins to unfold, not through your strength alone, but through divine orchestration. This is not just coincidence. It is God positioning you to step into the next level of your journey. These opportunities are often beyond what you imagined or expected, a reflection of God's ability to do exceedingly and abundantly above all you can ask or think. As these doors begin to open, you may find yourself surprised by the timing or the scale of what is being presented to you. These opportunities often appear when you least expect them, as if to remind you that God's plans are not limited by your timing or circumstances. They come as a result of His grace, not solely your effort. While preparation and diligence are important, these moments are a testament to His favor over your life. God is showing you that His hand is at work, moving behind the scenes to align people, resources, and circumstances in your favor. However, with these new opportunities comes the responsibility to recognize and act on them. Not every door that opens is from God, and discernment becomes crucial in this season. God's opportunities are often accompanied by peace, even when they require boldness or stepping into the unknown. They challenge you to grow, to trust Him more deeply, and to embrace the fullness of who He has created you to be. These opportunities are not about comfort, they are about calling. They may stretch you, requiring you to leave behind old patterns of thinking or limitations you've placed on yourself. This stretching is a sign that God is enlarging your capacity for the blessings He is bringing into your life. At times, these opportunities may feel intimidating or even overwhelming. You might question whether you are truly ready or capable of stepping into them. But remember, God does not call the equipped, He equips the called. If He has opened a door for you, it is because He knows you are ready, even if you don't feel like it. His strength is made perfect in your weakness, and His grace is sufficient for every step of the journey. What feels like a leap of faith is actually an invitation to walk in alignment with His will. Trust that He will provide everything you need to succeed, from wisdom and resources to strength and courage. These divine opportunities often come with confirmation, a sense of alignment that resonates deeply in your spirit. They may align with dreams or desires you've carried in your heart for years, or they may be completely unexpected, pointing to a new direction you hadn't considered. Either way, they carry a sense of purpose that cannot be ignored. You'll find that as you step into these opportunities, doors continue to open and favor follows you in ways you couldn't orchestrate on your own. This is the ripple effect of walking in obedience and embracing what God has placed before you. Sometimes the opportunities God brings require you to let go of something else. To say yes to God's next level often means saying no to something that has served its purpose in your life. This can be challenging, as it may involve stepping away from familiar roles, relationships, or situations. But letting go is not loss, it is preparation. God is making space for the new, ensuring that you are free to fully embrace what He is bringing into your life. Trust that whatever you release in this season will be replaced with something far greater, something that aligns perfectly with His plan for your life. As you step into these opportunities, remember that they are not just for your benefit. God elevates you not only to bless you, but also to make you a blessing to others. The doors He opens are connected to your purpose, designed to position you to impact lives and advance His kingdom. These opportunities carry responsibility, requiring you to steward them wisely and with humility. They are an invitation to partner with God, to allow Him to work through you in ways that bring glory to His name. The appearance of new opportunities is a powerful reminder that God's plans for you are alive and active. He is not limited by your past, your circumstances, or even your own doubts. He is a God of abundance, and when He elevates you, He does so in a way that reflects His limitless power and love. Embrace these opportunities with faith and courage, knowing that they are part of His divine plan to take you to the next level. Trust that He has prepared you for this moment, and that as you walk through these doors, He will continue to guide and provide for you every step of the way. When God is elevating you to the next level, challenges often arise that test your faith, character, and resilience. These challenges are not meant to destroy you, but to refine and strengthen you for the path ahead. They are divine tools shaping you into the person you need to become in order to sustain and thrive at the next level. God does not bring you to a place of elevation without first ensuring that you are prepared to handle it. The challenges you face in this season are part of that preparation. Often these challenges may feel overwhelming, pushing you beyond your comfort zone and exposing areas where growth is needed. You might face resistance, obstacles, or even setbacks that seem contrary to the progress you were expecting. But understand this, every great elevation comes with great preparation, and preparation often looks like adversity. God uses these moments to teach you lessons that can only be learned through experience. He knows that your foundation must be solid before He builds upon it, and challenges are His way of ensuring that foundation is strong. These challenges also serve to reveal what is in your heart. They expose areas of fear, doubt, or pride that need to be addressed. Elevation requires humility, faith, and a reliance on God that is unshakable. Through the difficulties, God is molding your character, helping you to trust Him more deeply and to let go of anything that could hinder your progress. Each test is an opportunity to lean into His strength and grow in your understanding of His faithfulness. What may feel like a breaking point is actually a building point, a chance to develop the resilience and endurance needed for the next level. Challenges are also a way for God to test your obedience. As you face decisions and crossroads, He is watching to see if you will trust His guidance or rely on your own understanding. Elevation often requires you to step out in faith, even when the path ahead is unclear. Will you trust God when the journey becomes difficult, or will you retreat to what feels safe? These moments of testing refine your ability to hear His voice and follow His lead, qualities that are essential for the greater responsibility that comes with elevation. Sometimes the challenges you face are not external but internal. God may bring to the surface doubts, insecurities, or unresolved issues that have been lying dormant. These internal struggles can feel just as intense as external trials, but they are a necessary part of the process. God is bringing healing and wholeness to every part of you, ensuring that nothing within you will sabotage the blessings He has prepared for you. He wants you to walk into the next level fully equipped, not just in skill, but in spirit. It's important to recognize that challenges are often a sign that you are on the right path. The enemy does not attack what is not a threat. When you face resistance, it is often because you are stepping into something significant, something that has the potential to disrupt the enemy's plans and advance God's kingdom. This perspective can help you to see challenges not as obstacles, but as confirmations that God is at work in your life. They are indicators that you are moving in the right direction, even if the road feels difficult. As you navigate these challenges, it is crucial to keep your focus on God. Elevation requires a higher level of faith, and that faith is built through reliance on Him during the hard times. Prayer, worship, and the Word become your anchors, grounding you when the winds of adversity try to shake you. The more you lean into God, the more you will find that His strength is made perfect in your weakness. He will give you the wisdom, courage, and peace you need to face each challenge with confidence. The challenges that come with elevation are temporary, but the growth they produce is lasting. They are shaping you into someone who can not only reach the next level, but thrive there. God's plans for you are good, and every challenge is part of His plan to prepare you for the blessings and responsibilities ahead. Trust the process, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. What may feel like a storm is actually clearing the path for something greater. You are being refined, strengthened, and equipped for a season of breakthrough and elevation that will exceed your expectations. When God is elevating you to the next level, you may notice a distinct shift in the relationships around you. People who once seemed aligned with your journey may begin to drift away, or their presence in your life might no longer feel the same. This is not a coincidence, but a necessary part of your growth. As God prepares you for the next phase of your life, He often removes relationships that can no longer support the weight of your calling. These shifts are not a punishment, but a pruning process, ensuring that what remains in your life is purposeful and aligned with His plan. You may also find that some people begin to show their true colors when you start to grow. Jealousy, resentment, or negativity may surface in ways that catch you off guard. This revelation is not meant to hurt you, but to protect you. God is exposing those whose hearts are not truly for you, ensuring that you are surrounded by people who celebrate your success and encourage your purpose. These revelations can feel isolating, but they are a blessing in disguise. They free you from relationships that could become a stumbling block as you move forward. As relationships shift, God often brings new people into your life who are aligned with your next level. These divine connections are not accidental but intentional. They are people who will pour into you, challenge you, and support your growth. They may come in the form of mentors, collaborators, or friends who share your vision and values. These new relationships are a sign of God's provision, reminding you that He will always place the right people in your life at the right time. They are there to walk alongside you in this new season, offering wisdom, encouragement, and partnership. It's important to recognize that not everyone will understand or support your elevation. Some people may feel threatened or insecure about your growth, perceiving it as a reflection of their own stagnation. Others may simply not be able to comprehend the vision God has placed in your heart. This is why discernment is key. Not everyone is meant to go where you are going, and that's okay. Your elevation is personal, and it requires a willingness to let go of anything or anyone that no longer aligns with God's purpose for your life. This process of relational pruning is not about judgment or condemnation. It's about alignment. God is creating space for the people, opportunities, and experiences that are part of your next level. Holding on to the wrong relationships can delay your progress or distract you from your purpose. Trusting God means believing that He knows what and who is best for you, even when it's hard to understand in the moment. It's about surrendering your relationships to Him, allowing Him to guide you in love and wisdom. As relationships shift, you may also experience a season of solitude. This is not a punishment, but a time of preparation. God often draws you closer to Himself in these moments, teaching you to rely on Him above all else. Solitude allows you to hear His voice more clearly, to refine your vision, and to deepen your relationship with Him. It's a time to let go of external validation and find your identity and strength in Him alone. This season may feel lonely, but it is sacred. It is where God equips you for the elevation that is coming. The relational shifts that come with elevation are not always easy, but they are always purposeful. They are a sign that God is moving in your life, aligning every aspect of it with His divine plan. Trust the process, even when it hurts, knowing that He is clearing the way for greater things. The relationships that remain or emerge will be those that strengthen and support you, reflecting the love and purpose of God in your life. In every goodbye, there is a hello waiting, and in every loss, there is a gain. Trust that God's hand is at work, crafting a future that exceeds your expectations and fulfills His promises. As God elevates you to the next level, you may find yourself experiencing a sense of clarity and focus like never before. This is not a coincidence or a fleeting moment. It is God aligning your mind and spirit with His divine purpose for your life. The fog of confusion begins to lift, and what once seemed unclear or uncertain now appears with remarkable precision. This clarity is a gift from God, a sign that He is preparing you to walk boldly in the path He has set before you. With this newfound clarity comes a sharper understanding of your priorities. Things that used to demand your attention may no longer hold the same weight. You start to see what truly matters and what aligns with your purpose. Distractions that once pulled you away from your goals lose their power over you. This is because God is refining your focus, ensuring that your energy is channeled into the things that will bring Him glory and fulfill your calling. It's as though a divine filter has been placed over your life, sifting out the unnecessary and leaving only what is essential. This clarity often extends to your vision for the future. Dreams and desires that were once vague become vivid and specific. You begin to understand not only what God has called you to do, but also how to take the steps to achieve it. Strategies and ideas that were hidden now come to the surface, and you feel a sense of conviction about your direction. This is not just your imagination or ambition at work. It is God illuminating the path ahead, equipping you with the insight needed to move forward with confidence. In this season, you may also notice a heightened ability to discern opportunities. Doors that were once closed may suddenly swing open, and you can see clearly which ones are meant for you and which ones are distractions. This discernment is a sign of spiritual maturity, a result of God sharpening your awareness and aligning your heart with His will. You no longer feel the need to chase after every opportunity that comes your way. Instead, you trust that the opportunities God has for you will align perfectly with your purpose, and you step into them with faith and assurance. This sense of clarity also affects your relationships. You begin to see people for who they truly are and understand their role in your journey. Some relationships will feel more meaningful and purposeful, while others may no longer fit the path you are on. God gives you the wisdom to discern who is meant to walk with you into this next season and who is not. This clarity in relationships allows you to create healthy boundaries, protecting your time, energy, and focus for what God has called you to do. As your focus sharpens, so does your determination. You no longer feel weighed down by doubt or indecision. Instead, there is a sense of urgency and purpose driving you forward. This is because God is revealing His timing to you, showing you that now is the moment to act. Procrastination and fear lose their grip, and you find yourself moving with boldness and intention. You recognize that every step you take is part of a greater plan, and this understanding fuels your motivation and perseverance. This clarity also brings peace. When you understand where God is leading you, there is no longer a need to strive or worry. You trust that He is in control and that every detail of your journey is being orchestrated for your good. This peace allows you to move forward with confidence, knowing that you are walking in alignment with God's will. It's a peace that surpasses understanding, grounding you even when challenges arise. You are no longer swayed by external circumstances because your focus is fixed on the one who holds your future. God's clarity is not just about giving you a vision, it's about preparing you to steward it well. With clarity comes responsibility. As you see the path ahead, you are called to walk it with faith, obedience, and diligence. This is a time to act on what God has shown you, to take the steps He has revealed, and to trust that He will provide the strength and resources you need. The clarity He gives is a sign that He believes you are ready to move to the next level, equipped and empowered by His Spirit. This season of clarity is one of the most profound signs of elevation. It is God's way of aligning your mind, heart, and spirit with His purpose, ensuring that you are prepared to step into the fullness of what He has for you. Trust this clarity, embrace it, and let it guide you as you move forward. It is a divine confirmation that you are on the right path, walking in the light of God's plan for your life. As you experience God elevating you to the next level, you may find that the challenges and obstacles that once seemed insurmountable no longer have the same power over you. This is a clear sign that God is strengthening you, preparing you for greater things ahead. The battles that once took all your energy now seem to come with greater ease, or perhaps they no longer carry the weight of defeat they once did. What used to shake your faith or cause you to doubt now becomes an opportunity for you to grow stronger in your trust in God. The more you encounter these trials, the more you realize that they are not meant to break you, but to build you. God's elevation doesn't promise a life without difficulty, but it does promise a life where you are more than capable of overcoming whatever comes your way. The same challenges that once left you feeling defeated or discouraged are now stepping stones for you to rise higher. You begin to see adversity not as a setback, but as a divine opportunity for your faith and resilience to be tested and strengthened. The power to overcome these obstacles comes from a place of deep trust in God's sovereignty, knowing that He is with you in every struggle and that He will provide a way through. In this season of elevation, you may find that the weight of your problem seems lighter. What once overwhelmed you now feels manageable. This shift is a sign of God's grace and power at work in you. You have developed a greater capacity to handle the difficulties of life because your foundation has been solidified in Him. Your spiritual muscles have grown, and with each challenge, you become more equipped to deal with the next. God is not just elevating your circumstances, He is elevating you, your character, your faith, and your ability to persevere. When God elevates you, He also equips you with a new level of spiritual maturity. You learn to see things from a higher perspective. Instead of getting caught up in the immediate frustration or discomfort, you begin to recognize the bigger picture. You see the purpose in the pain, the lesson in the loss, and the growth in the hardship. God's elevation gives you the ability to rise above the temporary setbacks, to view them as tools for your development rather than obstacles meant to stop you. This shift in perspective allows you to remain calm and steadfast, even when everything around you seems chaotic. You understand that you are not defined by your circumstances, you are defined by the power of God within you. Moreover, as God elevates you, He begins to increase your capacity for faith. Your trust in Him becomes more unwavering. You start to recognize that with God, nothing is impossible. The fears that once held you back begin to dissipate, and you are able to step out in boldness and confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. This new level of faith gives you the courage to pursue the dreams and goals that once seemed out of reach. You no longer hesitate to take risks, because you know that if God has called you to it, He will see you through it. God also elevates your understanding of His word. As you face challenges, His promises begin to resonate with greater depth and clarity. Scriptures that once seemed distant or hard to grasp now come alive in your spirit. You begin to understand that His word is not just for the good times, but is the very foundation you stand on in the face of adversity. It becomes your anchor, your shield, and your sword as you navigate through life's storms. The more you meditate on his word, the more equipped you become to handle whatever comes your way. It's no longer just knowledge, it's revelation. And this revelation empowers you to walk with authority and peace. In addition to these internal changes, you will also begin to notice how God opens doors of opportunity that were once closed. What used to feel like a series of dead ends now feels like a flow of favor and opportunity. The challenges that once blocked your path are now stepping stones, positioning you for success. This doesn't mean that everything will be easy. It means that God is with you, giving you favor, wisdom, and discernment to move forward. You may face new challenges, but you approach them with a renewed sense of purpose and strength, knowing that you have the power to overcome whatever comes your way. The sense of peace that accompanies this elevation is profound. When you are being elevated, you learn to trust God more deeply. You no longer feel the need to control everything or figure everything out on your own. Instead, you place your trust in the one who holds your future. You understand that he is in control and his plans for you are always good. This trust gives you peace in the midst of challenges, a peace that doesn't make sense to the world, but is a testimony of the faith you have in your Creator. As you continue to move forward, you will see the hand of God in every circumstance, and his peace will guard your heart and mind in a way that transcends understanding. The elevation process is not about avoiding challenges, but about growing stronger through them. With each victory, your faith deepens and your ability to overcome becomes more refined. God is not only elevating your circumstances, but is elevating your capacity to handle life's challenges with grace, strength, and unwavering faith. As you continue to overcome, you will find yourself equipped for even greater challenges, knowing that the God who has carried you thus far will carry you through to the next level. As God elevates you to the next level, you may notice that a new sense of peace begins to settle in your heart. The anxieties and fears that once kept you up at night now seem to lose their grip on you. The overwhelming burden of worry begins to lift, and in its place, there is a deep sense of trust in God's plan. This peace is not just the absence of trouble. It is a supernatural calm that rises within you, no matter the circumstances you face. You may still encounter challenges and difficulties, but your response to them shifts. Where there was once panic, there is now a quiet confidence that everything is unfolding according to God's will. This peace is a sign that God is preparing you for greater things. It's his way of letting you know that you are no longer fighting from a place of fear, but from a place of faith. You begin to understand that the peace you feel is not based on your own ability to control the situation, but on the assurance that God is in control. No matter what comes your way, you can rest in the knowledge that God's hand is guiding you. The weight of trying to manage every detail of your life begins to fade, and you are able to let go and trust that God's timing is perfect. This peace that surpasses all understanding becomes your anchor, holding you steady as you move into the next phase of your journey. With this peace comes a deep sense of assurance. You start to realize that the worries and stresses of the past no longer define you. You are no longer bound by the fear of the unknown or the pressure to perform. God's peace frees you from the need to control every outcome. Instead, you learn to trust in his process, knowing that he is working behind the scenes for your good. The more you surrender to his will, the more his peace fills every corner of your heart. The anxiety that once clouded your thoughts is replaced by a sense of clarity and calm. This peace also allows you to experience greater joy. When you are no longer burdened by worry, your heart is free to experience the fullness of life. You begin to see the beauty in the small moments, to appreciate the blessings that surround you, and to feel a deep sense of gratitude for all that God has done in your life. Joy becomes your natural state, not because everything is perfect, but because you know that God is with you in every moment, and that is enough. This joy is rooted in the trust you have in God's sovereignty and his goodness. It's a joy that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on the unshakable truth that God is with you always. As God elevates you, his peace also brings a deep sense of rest. The constant striving, the incessant need to prove yourself, the exhaustion from running in circles, all of that begins to fade away. You learn to rest in God's promises, knowing that he is the one who will bring about his will in your life. The stress and burnout that often accompany striving are replaced with a sense of ease. You don't have to hustle to earn God's love or approval. You can rest in the knowledge that God is already pleased with you and his plans for you are good. This rest isn't about inactivity. It's about moving in alignment with God's purpose for your life and allowing him to direct your steps. It's a rest that comes from knowing that God's grace is sufficient and he will provide everything you need for the journey ahead. In the midst of the challenges that come with elevation, God's peace provides the stability you need to remain steadfast. It keeps you grounded when everything around you seems to be in chaos. You no longer feel the need to react or be shaken by every challenge or opposition. Instead, you stand firm in the knowledge that you are secure in God's love and his plan for your life. This peace enables you to make decisions from a place of clarity, not fear. When the world around you is filled with uncertainty, you are able to navigate with confidence, knowing that God is leading you every step of the way. This peace also transforms the way you interact with others. When you are at peace within yourself, you become a source of peace to those around you. You no longer feel the need to control or manipulate situations to ensure your success. Instead, you approach relationships and interactions with a calm assurance, knowing that God's will be done regardless of the outcome. This peace allows you to be a calming presence in the lives of others, helping them to see that the same peace you experience is available to them as well. God's peace is a sign of his presence in your life. It's a reminder that he is working in you and through you to bring about his purpose. It's a sign that you are being elevated to a higher place, where you can experience life not through the lens of fear and worry, but through the lens of trust and peace. As you continue to walk in this peace, you will find that it opens doors of opportunity, brings clarity to your decisions, and deepens your relationship with God. This peace is a powerful indicator that you are stepping into a new season, one where you can move forward with confidence, knowing that God's peace will always be with you, guiding you every step of the way. As God elevates you to the next level, you may notice that the people around you begin to change. Some relationships that once felt comfortable or familiar may begin to shift, and in some cases, they may even come to an end. This can be a difficult and confusing time, especially if those relationships were once an integral part of your life. However, this change is one of the clearest signs that God is at work in your life. You may find that certain people no longer align with the direction God is taking you, or they may not be able to handle the new version of yourself that is emerging. At first, this can feel like loss. You may question why certain friendships or connections are fading away, especially if they were once close or meaningful. But as you reflect on this, you will begin to realize that these shifts are not losses at all. They are divine reassignments. God is removing people who no longer serve his purpose for your life and is making space for new relationships that will help you grow into the person he has created you to be. It's important to remember that not all relationships are meant to last forever, and not all connections are meant to go with you into the new season of life that God is leading you into. When God elevates you, he also elevates the people you surround yourself with. He brings individuals into your life who will encourage, challenge, and inspire you to reach new heights. These people will help you grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. They will push you to become the best version of yourself, and they will celebrate your successes with you. These are the kinds of relationships that align with your new season of elevation. The right people will always recognize the potential within you and will support you as you pursue God's purpose for your life. This is the fruit of elevation, divine connections that empower you to move forward with greater purpose and impact. As God shifts your relationships, you may also find that the dynamics within your existing relationships change. People who were once a negative influence on your life may begin to fade away naturally, not because you have rejected them, but because the atmosphere around you has changed. When you begin to walk in your elevation, your energy shifts. Your mindset becomes more focused on your purpose, and you attract people who are aligned with that purpose. As you elevate, you will notice that you are no longer drawn to people or situations that drain your energy or hinder your progress. You will begin to gravitate toward people who challenge you to think bigger, who encourage you to dream bigger, and who help you stay grounded in your faith. The elevation process is about surrounding yourself with those who will strengthen your walk with God and help you become more of who he has called you to be. Sometimes this means letting go of relationships that no longer serve you, even if it's painful. It means releasing the past and embracing the new people God is sending into your life. Trust that God knows exactly who you need to be connected with to fulfill your purpose. While it may be difficult to let go of old relationships, it is important to understand that God has already prepared new relationships that will better support you and help you grow. In some cases, God may also place you in a position where you become a source of inspiration and encouragement to others. As you move into your new season, you may find that people are drawn to you for guidance, wisdom, or support. This is a powerful sign of elevation. When you are elevated, others can sense the light within you, and they will seek out your influence. Your transformation becomes a testimony of God's power, and it serves as an example of how He can work in anyone's life when they trust Him. You may become the very person others look to for wisdom, counsel, or prayer. This is not something you seek, but something that naturally flows from your elevated position in Christ. God's elevation often means that you will be exposed to new people, new environments, and new opportunities. These new connections will play a crucial role in your growth. They will challenge your thinking, help you expand your influence, and open doors that were once closed. These relationships may take different forms: business partnerships, spiritual mentors, or even friendships that will last for a season. Each of these connections is designed to help you move forward in your purpose and to equip you for the next level of your journey. The key is to remain open to God's guidance in every relationship. Trust that He will bring the right people into your life at the right time. Don't cling to relationships that no longer align with His will for your life, and don't be afraid to embrace new people who are walking in alignment with God's purpose. As you continue to grow and evolve, you will find that the people around you will either grow with you or fade away. This is not a rejection of them, but a natural progression in your journey. As you rise, God will place you in a position to be a blessing to others, and the relationships He brings into your life will help you fulfill the purpose He has designed for you. When God elevates you to the next level, you may notice that your mind begins to shift. The way you think, process information, and perceive the world around you will change in profound ways. This transformation of thought is one of the most significant signs that God is preparing you for the next season of your life. As you step into your elevation, your mindset no longer remains confined to the limitations and fears of the past. You start to think bigger, to dream beyond your current circumstances, and to see opportunities instead of obstacles. This shift in perspective is not something you can achieve on your own. It is a direct result of God's work in your life. Your mind becomes renewed. You begin to think like someone who has been elevated, someone who has a greater purpose and a higher calling. The thoughts that once held you back, thoughts of inadequacy, fear, and doubt, start to fade. In their place, you start to embrace thoughts of possibility, confidence, and strength. God is transforming the way you view yourself, your circumstances, and your future. The limitations you once imposed on yourself no longer hold you captive. You see yourself as capable, strong, and equipped for the tasks ahead. You begin to walk in the truth that you are a child of the Most High God, and with Him all things are possible. This renewal of your mind is not a superficial change. It goes deep into your subconscious. You no longer operate out of fear or scarcity, but from a place of abundance and faith. As your mind is transformed, you begin to make decisions based on your elevated state of being, not based on the fears and doubts that once controlled you. You start to trust more in God's plan for your life, believing that He is leading you towards success, not failure. You start to think in terms of what is possible rather than what has been. Your mind is no longer restricted by past failures or negative experiences. Instead, you approach life with the mindset of someone who is walking in divine favor. This transformation of thought also manifests in the way you approach challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. You understand that challenges are a natural part of the elevation process, and you embrace them with a sense of expectancy. You know that each challenge is designed to build your character, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare you for the greater things that lie ahead. Your mindset shifts from one of resistance to one of acceptance and resilience. You no longer shrink back in fear. When difficulties arise, instead, you face them head on, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. Your ability to think differently also opens up new doors of opportunity. As your mindset expands, you begin to see possibilities that were once hidden from you. The world around you becomes a canvas for your dreams and ideas. You start to believe that there are no limits to what you can achieve, and you begin to pursue your goals with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. You begin to take risks, step out in faith, and move toward your dreams with the confidence that God is guiding your every step. The thoughts of I can't and it's impossible are replaced with I can and it's already done. You start to act in accordance with your elevated thinking, moving forward with boldness and courage. This transformation also affects the way you speak. As your mind is renewed, your words begin to align with your elevated thoughts. No longer do you speak words of limitation or defeat. You speak words of life, success, and victory. You begin to declare God's promises over your life, speaking with confidence and authority. Your words reflect the renewed vision you have for your future. You begin to speak with the understanding that your words have power, and you use them to create the future you desire. You no longer speak in the language of fear, doubt, or insecurity. Instead, your language is full of faith, hope, and belief in the goodness of God. This renewal of the mind also has a ripple effect on the people around you. As your mindset shifts, you begin to influence others in positive ways. People begin to notice the change in you, the way you carry yourself, the way you approach life, and the way you speak. Your elevated thinking becomes contagious, and you start to inspire those around you to think differently as well. You become a living testimony of what is possible when God renews your mind and transforms your life. Your example encourages others to believe in their own potential and to trust in God's ability to elevate them to new heights. Through this process, you are not just changing the way you think, you are aligning your thoughts with the truth of who God says you are. You are stepping into your true identity, understanding that you are a co-creator with God, capable of achieving great things. This transformation is an ongoing process, one that deepens as you continue to walk in your elevation. Your mind will continue to expand as you experience new levels of understanding, wisdom, and insight. As you embrace the elevated mindset that God is cultivating within you, you will find that every area of your life begins to align with His will, and you are able to walk boldly into the future He has prepared for you. In conclusion, the signs that God has elevated you to the next level are not always immediately recognizable, but as you reflect on the changes in your life, you will begin to see them clearly. From the transformation of your mindset to the people who come and go, every shift is part of God's divine plan for your growth and purpose. The elevation process can sometimes feel challenging, but remember that it is in these very moments of change that God is preparing you for greater things. As you continue to embrace this new season, trust that God's guidance is with you every step of the way. He is shaping your mind, refining your relationships, and empowering you to rise above the obstacles that once held you back. This elevation is not just about achieving success, it's about becoming the person God has always destined you to be, someone who walks in faith, purpose, and confidence. Keep your eyes fixed on Him, trust in His timing, and know that you are stepping into a season of greater opportunity, influence, and impact. Remember, elevation is not just a destination, but a journey. Each step you take brings you closer to the fulfillment of God's promises for your life. So continue to walk in faith, hold on to the vision He has given you, and know that the best is yet to come.